Hello, NBA fans. Every day we have news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan and I ask for your help by subscribing to the channel and giving me your thumbs up. The Lakers need to make moves in preparation for LeBron James' departure, and a player who fits the Lakers' profile is Darius Garland, who is very skilled, a scorer, grabs rebounds, and has already made 19 assists in a single game, and by his scoring, with a 41-point game. The Los Angeles Lakers boast two of the biggest stars in the NBA with LeBron James and Luka Doncic, although their success might not be sustainable. After adding Luka Doncic at the trade deadline last season, it's easy to see the Los Angeles Lakers as title favorites this upcoming year. After all, they boast Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves, perhaps the best third option in the entire league. However, there are still unanswered questions about their depth, defense, and health. James will turn 41 this season, and it's unclear how much motivation he has left, much less gas in the tank. As the Lakers grapple with a promising yet uncertain future, drastic measures are expected. Experts predict LA Lakers won't meet expectations. James, at his peak, was a dominant defender, demonstrated by his 6 all-defensive team selections. However, his legs have a lot of miles on them, and DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, Dalton Knecht, Doncic, and Reeves aren't exactly potty caliber. On top of that, James seems displeased by the Lakers not committing to him long-term, and he will be an unrestricted free agent this summer, so his buy-in to the team's success has been questioned. "I don't see how the Lakers stay at a number 3 seed again," wrote Yahoo's Tom Haberstroh. "I'm a believer in skinny Luka, but if LeBron James is at all checked out, there's not nearly enough depth on this roster to sustain a level required to claim first-round home-court advantage. I fear the talent drop-off after Luka Doncic, James, and Austin Reeves will doom them this season." Of course, even a not-bought-in James is still an elite player, and Doncic, now that he is in shape, is expected to return to being a front-runner in the MVP race. However, as the Phoenix Suns demonstrated, having 3 stars surrounded by below-average players does not guarantee success. James' mentality aside, the Lakers have very real on-court issues to address, as well. The Lakers face real defensive issues as they try to build lineups around James, Doncic, and Reeves, added Ben Rohrbach. When Doncic, James, and Reeves shared the floor, the Lakers' defensive rating was 121.6, the worst of any 3-man group in the entire league. Lakers might move on from LeBron James to secure long-term success. Even if James finishes this season making his 22nd All-NBA team, it's impossible to define him as a building block. He will be 41 at the end of the season, and while he has made it clear that he dreams of playing with both Suns in the NBA, Bryce making the league is not a guarantee, and in an effort to bolster their core around Doncic, flipping James to the highest bidder makes a lot of sense. James has been linked to the Dallas Mavericks, Miami Heat, and Golden State Warriors, although a homecoming to Cleveland would be the best way for him to end his career. It won't be easy, but if the Cavs get off to a slow start, Darius Garland's contract could be large enough to grease the wheels in a 3 or 4 team trade, predicted Haberstroh. James' trade value is at an all-time low, but the Cavaliers have an on-ball guard in Donovan Mitchell, and James, even at his advanced age, would fit the roster well. It's only a question of building a deal to get him there. Luka Doncic's new look could unlock old piece of his game fans have been dying to see. Doncic's step back might take a step back. For the last couple of years, fans and analysts alike have pointed out something missing in Luka Doncic's game, the full-on, downhill attacking version of Doncic that once made defenders look helpless. He has still filled up the stat sheet, sure. But there were stretches where it felt like he was settling, taking more step backs, with a lot fewer drives. It looked like he had less force in his game. Now? That might be changing. "I was hoping that weight loss would bring some of that quicker on-the-ball juice we saw earlier in his career," said Wosny Lambra on the Kevin O'Connor Show. "And I think some of that is back, to be sure." Luka Doncic's new look may revive the lost element of his game. So far, what Doncic has done in Eurobasket has passed the eye test. In Slovenia's most recent preparation game against Great Britain, Doncic looked light on his feet and completely locked in. He scored 28 points in limited minutes and got to the rim repeatedly. He went 7-for-7 at the line in the first quarter alone, and ended up finishing the game going 12-14 at the stripe. What is even better is that 5 of the 7 field goals he made came all within the arc. That is what the Doncic fans have been waiting to see. Someone who can get to his spots with ease, draw contact, and slice through defenses instead of dancing around them. Fans are not the only ones to notice this. His Slovenian teammates see it, too. He's faster and jumps more, forward Edo Muric told Peja Sapic of Basket News. This year, I expect him to be the best version of himself. Aleksej Nikolic, another one of Doncic's teammates, agreed, saying, he's in a lot better shape. This all tracks with what we have heard, the strict diet, the 2-a-days, the cleaner recovery. It looks like that work is unlocking a version of his game that has been tucked away for a while. Remember the first time he played against Kawhi, Leonard, and Paul George in the playoffs? Lambert recalled. Those guys couldn't do anything with him. And it's not because he was doing a bunch of step backs. It's because he was breaking these guys down, off the dribble. That is what makes this new version of Luka so intriguing. We already know he is one of the smartest, most skilled offensive players in the league. But if he has got that extra burst again, the one enough to get by elite defenders and live at the rim, he will be at a different level. The Los Angeles Lakers did not just bet on Doncic this offseason. They invested in his future. If this leaner version unlocks even one more gear, they might be looking at the best version of Doncic yet. Lakers' Luka Doncic appears to be trying to get on Mark Walter's good side. The Los Angeles Lakers have started going all in for Luka Doncic to be their franchise player. After signing him to an extension, the Lakers started asking him for input on how to build the team around him. Doncic is one of the best players in the NBA when he is fully healthy. Injury issues have popped up throughout his career, but the Lakers are hoping that won't be the case with Doncic in much better shape. Los Angeles has a new owner, Mark Walter. Walter will likely pour money into the Lakers to make sure that they are great every year. It seems like Doncic is doing his best to be on his good side. Luka Doncic always mentions Mark Walter while discussing his future with the Lakers. As the Hoop Collective points out, Doncic has been very careful to include Walter's name any time he talks about his future with the Lakers. Walter is a guy who seems committed to doing whatever he can to build around Doncic. Doncic clearly appreciates those efforts to make him as happy as possible. The Lakers are hoping Luka Doncic can lead them to a title. Doncic has already led one franchise to the NBA Finals. He carried the Mavericks to the Finals in 2024, so he has already proven he can be the best player on a team that makes the Finals. Los Angeles just needs to surround him with the right kind of players over the next decade or so in order to win a title. Doncic has to have some improvement in his conditioning and his defense, as well. In early August, Doncic signed a massive 3-year, $165 million contract to remain in Los Angeles. He will soon enter his first full season with the purple and gold. Austin Reaves is undeniably improving his biggest weakness. The defensive deficiencies of the Los Angeles Lakers guard have been overstated. Full interview, The Herd. One look at Austin Reaves and the idea of an elite perimeter defender is certainly not one that people would be quick to arrive at. Granted, that assessment about the Los Angeles Lakers guard would be correct. The issue is with the scales being tipped too far in the other direction. Questions about Reaves' fit next to Luka Doncic have circulated abundantly due to his defensive shortcomings. While it is true Reaves is not a shutdown defender by any stretch of the imagination, the issues on that end have more to do with roster construction and team management than the Lakers guard as an individual. Jovan Buha discussed just how much that conversation has shifted in the wrong direction for Reaves on a recent episode of his podcast. Reaves is not what he has been made out to be. The discourse about the defense has gone overblown, Buha stated. Charges, his rotations, his ability to chase guys, screen navigation is all good. Even his isolation defense statistically has been pretty good. The Lakers have to be more strategic with their switching. Lakers' next decision with this roster is painfully obvious. Buha highlighted the biggest issue was the Lakers allowing too many switches where Reeves ends up on a mismatch against some like Julius Randle or Aaron Gordon. The strengths of his defense come against defending guards, and that is where the 27-year-old should be kept. The Lakers did not have that luxury for a large chunk of last season due to the gaping hole at center. J.J. Redick was forced to adopt a defense that predicated on high energy, constant fluidity, and movement. With DeAndre Ayton in the mix now, that does not need to be the case to the same capacity. Reeves can be just fine as the number 2 backcourt defender. To properly push him into that role, the decision to start Marcus Smart over Rui Hachimura could be imperative. The former Defensive Player of the Year can be the man tasked with taking on the initial challenge of guarding the toughest defensive assignment from the opposing team. Meanwhile, Reeves would be allowed to settle into a comfort zone. Guards like Jalen Brunson and Kyrie Irving have proven the mold in which Reeves is built offensively can work with Doncic quite well, after some fine-tuning to his catch-and-shoot game. The defensive conversation is much more predicated on the surrounding talent than the pair themselves. Franz Wagner discusses what makes Luka Doncic special. Los Angeles Lakers superstar Luka Doncic is one of many NBA stars set to play for his country in the upcoming FIBA EuroBasket 2025 tournament. Stars such as Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets and Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks will also be participating, as will rising stars like 2024 top overall draft pick Zachary Rizicher of the Atlanta Hawks and Orlando Magic forward Franz Wagner. Wagner will be leading his native Germany alongside former Lakers point guard Dennis Schroeder, and they are one of the tournament favorites. In preparation for the tournament, Wagner and Germany faced off with Doncic and Slovenia in a pair of exhibition games, and the Magic forward is very much aware of how difficult it is to contain Luka in any setting. In an interview with FIBA Basketball, Wagner was asked what makes the Lakers superstar so special, and he noted that Doncic is so versatile that it requires the entire team to defend him, and even then, sometimes you just have to accept that he's going to make tough shots. There are few players in the world as versatile or who can manipulate the game as well as he does offensively. You can't just defend him with one player. You have to switch up the looks that you give him. And also be okay with him making some tough looks. Just try to make it hard and play against him 1 against 5. And sometimes be okay and tip your hat with some tough plays, said the German NBA star Wagner. Some players are truly unstoppable, and the best the defense can do is just to try and make life as difficult as possible, and Doncic is undoubtedly in that category. Whether he is suiting up for the Lakers or Slovenia, keeping Luka in check is a nearly impossible task, and Wagner understands that. Whether Wagner will see Doncic and Slovenia in the EuroBasket tournament itself remains unclear, as Germany is in Group B while Slovenia is in Group D, meaning the only way they will potentially face off is in the elimination round, assuming both make it to that point. Lakers Luka Doncic avoids serious injury during tune-up versus Latvia. There was a huge fear that Luka Doncic suffered a serious injury after a teammate fell into his knee during Slovenia's exhibition against Latvia. Thankfully, the Lakers star avoided any major damage and was back on the court for Slovenia's final 2 tune-up games against Great Britain and Serbia. Who should be Lakers' 5th starter? With LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and DeAndre Ayton expected to be starters for the Lakers, which player should join them? With training camp on the horizon and the roster looking set for now, it's time to look at the 2025-26 Lakers and consider what the best starting unit is. The first 4 spots are relatively easy to fill out. Los Angeles has an All-NBA player in LeBron James and a superstar in Luka Doncic, so clearly these two will be starting. The next 2 shoo-ins are Austin Reeves and DeAndre Ayton. Despite Reeves struggling in the postseason, he's still the best guard on this team after Luka. The Lakers' signing of Ayton gives them a new lob threat at the 5 spot, and he's a clear upgrade from Jackson Hayes. Rui Hachimura certainly has a strong case to be a starter. He started in 57 of the 59 games he played in last year. Hachimura had one of his best seasons of his career, averaging 13.1 points, 5 rebounds, and 1.4 assists per game while shooting 41% from deep. He was also one of the few players who performed well against the Wolves in the playoffs. That has to be factored in, given that those are the games that matter most. While Hachimura was more good than bad last year, he certainly has his flaws. He struggles defending bigs, and he's a bit too slow-footed to really keep up with quick guards. Hachimura can certainly get hot and dominate offensively, but he still struggles to crash the boards. With the Lakers generally playing with just one big man on the floor in head coach J.J. Redick's system, everyone has to help on the glass. Hachimura has shown that the only consistency he brings to the rebounding department is inconsistency. If the Lakers want to go with someone new for their last starting spot, an option they have is Marcus Smart. The Lakers' new point-of-attack defender signed with Los Angeles after the Wizards bought him out. Celtics back to relevance. His ability to be a defensive irritant on the perimeter is a quality he brings that the Lakers were severely lacking last season. His defensive prowess earned him the Defensive Player of the Year award in 2022, and he was named first-team All-Defense on 3 separate occasions. However, those accomplishments are part of his past and not a reflection of who he's been over the last couple of seasons. In the past 2 years, Smart has had an extensive injury history. He played in only 34 games last year, split between the Grizzlies and Wizards, primarily due to finger injuries that kept him out of many contests. The last time Smart played 60 or more games was the 2022-23 season, so if he can't stay on the floor, it might not matter if he's the desired starting option. Still, you do begin on the positive side as the NBA season starts, so unless told otherwise, we should assume Smart is good to go. If he's the top option, he should start on opening night against the Warriors. If the final starting spot is only between Hachimura and Smart, then it becomes a question of who performs best in their strengths. Is Hachimura's size and offensive production so good that you'll live with the defensive flaws? Is Smart's wing defense so great that it's fine he gives you very little on the other side of the ball? We'll have to see this play out over time, but it'll be interesting to see what Redick's initial decision is. Starting lineups and all situations regarding the Lakers are always subject to change. Last season, Redick announced his starting lineup weeks before the season began. Things quickly changed when it became clear that D'Angelo Russell shouldn't have that spot, and the team tinkered with the best unit until Luka arrived. So, while fans and the organization might have a certain mindset on things, once we go from theoretical to watching this roster play against the NBA, it's likely the starting lineup adjusts with the new data we are viewing.